Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another week of the Hickory, the Drunken Under Quarantine show, presented to you by the Woolen Mill Comedy Club. Thanks for coming out. It's been a long week. We have a lot to unpack this week. Tonight, our host, our special guest, is just us hosts. It'll be just Collen, GW, and I this evening, which is fun. It's kind of like a throwback to episode 1. And thank you for joining us. It's episode 12. We've made it that far. We made it to the 12 pack, which I remember was a very big accomplishment my senior year of high school when I first made it through a 12 pack. And we have a lot. There's a lot to unpack. So we're going to keep it going. We're going to get this right on the road. Entering to the stage. I thought my beautiful assistant there was going to come tell me something, and she looked all serious and then wasn't. So welcome into the spotlight stage. A friend who's a very good friend of both GW's and I, and as both of our co-hosts have been here since day one, we almost convinced him to one-up GW and do a shirtless show, but he decided for the family-friendly ratings that might not be a great idea. Welcome to the stage, the founder of the Woolen Mill Comedy Club, Mr. Collen Doyle.
Woo! Thank you very much, Hickory. It's great to be here. Broadcasting live from the Woolen Mill Comedy Club. Yay!
Yay!
We got the internet up and going. Unfortunately, the AC is not installed yet this season because we haven't been using the space. So it is 110 degrees in here. I'd like to just give a shout out to everybody in this country right now who's still suffering with this quarantine nonsense that we all have to deal with. I feel like artists, like nobody's like really feeling like too empathetic for artists, like comedians and actors and entertainers that haven't been able to work like at all. And I feel like I grew up, I'm kind of like one of the few people in my family that's like, I would say more of an artist than like a sports person. And I feel like it's kind of like one or the other. Either you find like your entertainment in music and theater, or like you find your entertainment in sports. And it's funny because like right now we're both suffering equally. Like there's no sports going on, either. So it's like everybody, it's like the age-old thing where it's like you talk about the weather in sports. People are just like, boy, it sure is hot out there. And boy, it sure is hot. Like nothing else to talk about. I told my dad I just recently saw Hamilton, and he was like, Hamilton was kind of a strange thing, very successful in New York. But I think it's kind of interesting to have a play about a man who in many ways benefited from the trading of slaves be played by all Black people. I just feel like, at what level of oppression do you feel like, now I want you to sing and dance about Hamilton? Like, I feel like doing a show about the Holocaust and being like, yeah, only here, all the Nazis are going to be played by Jews. And then Disney's streaming it, so you just, it's evil. But yeah, it's tough, like sports, I think, are a good thing. They're like a good, they're a good thing. They teach people good things, I guess, being competitive and trying to not just win, but crush your competitor. Good lessons, life lessons, it's you versus everyone else. But I don't know. It just seems to me that people get way more aggressive about sports than they do like anything else. You don't ever see someone like as passionate about like other massive brands, than you do like football. Like football fans are serious in this country, Like imagine if they took the same liking to like cereal, Just standing in like a grocery store somewhere and he's like, hey, Cocoa Pebbles, why don't you come down here so I can knock your ass out? It's Cocoa Puffs. General Mills always kicks post ass. I don't know. I had a wonderful weekend, and I spent some time with my cousin's daughter. And she was wearing a Boston hat. She's 5, and she was playing with a little girl who's was wearing a Yankees hat. You know, it's cute to see them, you know, coexisting. Because we all know as you get older in life that doesn't happen, right? You know? If I wear like a Boston Red Sox hat in New York, people come up to me and be like, "You, the Boston Red Sox, a bunch of losers." And I have to be like, "I'm actually not even on the team. I just wear the hat." But that's kind of been my week. It's just, you know, hang in there, everybody. It all sucks, you know. I'm excited to see some shows are coming back, like the rooftop shows, and we're trying to figure out how to get back up and going here at the Woolen Mill this month. So that's how I'm doing. I'm gonna kick it over to the other host of the show, my man, GW Foley.
Hey,
Hey.
hey, man, what a week. So I really want to say I did something fucked up today. I chipped a tooth trying to unscrew my razor. Yeah, it's one of those old-fashioned like safety razors where you like have to unscrew it and put the razor blade in and screw it back on because you know modern technology, fuck that. um and it was rusted shut because I haven't used it in a while. So stupid me thinking it's like Legos, put it in my mouth and twist and just felt my tooth just go crack.
Oh.
Which is a feeling that I don't know if you've ever felt before, but it's not a good feeling. And now, like, the only thing I'm doing is like rubbing my tongue on it, thinking that, oh, that'll definitely make it better, like a dog licking a wound. Just ah, just just getting right in there. Um, yeah, I can't stand the heat lately. It's been too hot for me, and as you can see, I'm pink. I only go outside for 5 minutes at a time, and I all of a sudden turn this color. As we know, I have my issues with the sun, but somebody stopped me and said, "Hey, you look sunburned." And I tried explaining to her, "No, this is just the color I turn when I have a little bit of sun." And she's like, "Oh no, you're burnt." I'm like, "I wish I was, because this conversation would be so much easier to deal with if I was under the influence." I just and and who comes up to somebody and says things like that? They'd be like, "Oh, hey, buddy, I see you got a broken arm there. I bet you broke it." It's like, duh. That's just what happens. Uh, let's see what else has been bugging me today. Um, I I had an iced tea earlier, and it's really mixing with my beer, and I don't know how I feel about that. It's like the sweetness of the iced tea mixed with like the bitterness of the hops is making me feel like I drank a one of those twisted teas where I don't know. As a straight white guy who has a somewhat college education, I feel like I should never even be close to one of those things. Kind of like the like Bud Light seltzers. Like I love me some seltzer water. It's great. It's refreshing. It has bubbles. Uh, but something about alcoholic seltzer just seems gross. Like if I'm gonna have alcohol with my seltzer, I'm going to just do a vodka and soda like a grown man. None of this like malt beverage Zima shit. That drives me absolutely nuts. Um, by the way, I'm still not wearing pants.
Nice.
Yes. Wanted to actually show you guys today, but my legs are so pasty. They look like Hickory's forehead. That's pretty pasty.
Pretty
Uh,
big.
that's all I pretty much have. So let me turn it over to the main reason you're here, the performer du jour of the Woolen Mill Comedy Club, the beautiful and voluptuous Hickory the Drunk and Underwhelming.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hickory the Drunk and Underwhelming. Tonight I'm here to perform you a small feat of magic. The first one will be getting this fierce creature out of my way. Hey.
Oh.
Oops. Oops.
Oh.
She is the same creature. Hey. Okay. Come on. One more, but it's down there. There you go. Come on. Who would have thought half my performance would be wrangling cats? Oh, okay. Show you guys a neat little thing here. I promised that I would not use a pack of cards this week. So I figured what I'd show you. There's no treats in there. It's like what's in there is just, oh shit. That wasn't supposed to be it. Everybody else. What are you doing? What? Apparently, this is the cat wrangling show. What that was supposed to be, the coin. Let's start with show you guys a little piece of coin magic here. Here we have a coin in a case. Just give it a little wipe. And it vanishes. Here's there. So I made two appear. That's enough. Take that little ball, stick it under there for now. I'll show you guys a simple trick for 6 coins. This is a coin trick my grandfather would have taught me, but he couldn't afford the $3 for the Basically, it starts like this. If you were to take 3 coins, put them in that hand, give the thumb a little magic there, the thumb a little magic there. Now I'd have 1 coin in that hand. I'm gonna have 2 coins in that hand. You guys can see this all right? We're good?
Yeah.
So we'll try this again. With 2 coins. 2 coins into this hand. Thumb a little magic, thumb a little magic. There's 1 coin in that hand, 1 coin in this hand. So I'll show you how. And I get a lot of flack from other magicians about this because you're never supposed to reveal a trick. I guess the first rule of magic is you never do a trick twice, but I kind of just broke that rule. So I might as well continue on the rule breaking train. I'll show you guys how this thing works. So what is actually happening is I am taking the coin, I'm placing it in that hand. I'm making a big flamboyant motion, right? So what has happened here is that coin has already disappeared. So what happened That coin went up this sleeve, up around my back, down here, down through that sleeve. Now that you guys know how this works, I'll try it with 3 coins in each hand. I'll take my ring off. It's an old tradition of magic that was formed back when magicians used to wear metal rings, or people used to wear metal rings, and you get the clanking, and it would really ruin some of the illusions. So it was an old tradition that magicians would take off the rings, and Hickory would if he remembered. But I wear a silicone ring, so it doesn't matter. So I'll take that off. We're going to use that as part of the demonstration. What I'm going to do is stick 3 coins in this hand, 3 coins and a ring in this hand. I'm going to ask you a question the second you do. So you ready? How many coins are in that hand?
2.
No, it was 3. That was just like it's like a test to make sure that, I wasn't cheating. Okay, in this hand, you got 3 coins and a ring. Now we give a little. Now you'll find that there's 0 coins in this hand. 6 coins and a ring in this hand.
Oh, wow.
And that is how that ends. But before I go, I will show you that sometimes, it's an important lesson, is that sometimes when you got little tiny balls, you form a beautiful piece of art like that, your balls get a little bit bigger. And then if you really, really work at it, you hold it just right, sometimes your bigger balls will grow into something more. Remember, practice safe magic. Anyways, my name is Hickory the Drunk and Underwhelming. I'll see you all next week.
Practice safe magic.
That's one hell of a helmet he has.
Hickory's muted.
Yeah.
You gotta unmute the mic, apparently. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Safe magic out there. Wonderful. Thank you guys for being here.
Great to be here.
Hey,
Yeah.
It's been real, man.
Welcome back. It has been a hell of a week we have had, which is crazy because it seems like there was less crazy headlines than the past few weeks, but it just keeps getting crazier, guys.
It's just that's what quarantine times are all about, isn't it? It's just absurdity on top of absurdity on top of absurdity.
Yep. During the earlier performances, we got a comment from Nick Lawrence that said, "Hi, Uncle Call."
Oh.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's I'm assuming my niece, who's 2 years old, is not watching the program, but it's
Mine might be. Comes from a long line of proud drunk magicians.
yeah.
Come see your uncle on his show. He's a trickster, I tell you.
Yeah, it seems like the headlines are just like a really bad SNL skit that just progressively gets worse as it goes on. Like, not one of the great ones like Wayne's World or like It's Pat, but like just one of the really shitty ones where it's like, okay, this really needs to end. And there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of like you could read an Onion article to somebody now, and there's like a 50% chance that they'll just believe it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like it used to be like The Onion was so ridiculous. There's what's the other one? Babylon Bee, I think, is the same.
Yeah.
And for those of you don't know, there's satirical newspapers that just print ridiculous stories that are just pure entertainment, and they are the ideological fake news, right? Like the fake news that nobody gets upset about. It's just funny.
And what I love too is like when you see the comments of it, like sometimes Nick, who just commented, will share like something from The Onion, and like
Oh, yeah.
and we'll be like, "This is devastating news." And it's like that is a completely absurd, but it's getting harder and harder to differentiate, like you know, fact from fiction. Do you remember that television show
Yeah.
back in the 90s? Fact or fiction?
Well, the sad part about it is you can go back into like either one of their periodicals and go, oh shit, this actually happened. Like that's how fucked up our world is getting right now.
Yeah.
Like company canceled for a man who said, "Thank you for letting me be here, Mr. Trump."
Yeah.
And now we've got Goya away is a Twitter trending hashtag, all because some CEO thanked Trump for letting him come to the White House and speak. It's like,
Yeah, I mean, I would say like I would when you get Goya away, I don't think people understand just how kind of massive that food distribution is on the East Coast and most of this country.
I feel like part of it, the ironic part about their slogan being Goya away was like, that's what all the white supremacists were saying back 4 years ago, right? No, exactly. Goya away.
Yeah. all the people who have been like shitting on like Mexicans forever, like the liberals just did what we couldn't do in 15 years.
Yeah, when do beans become political? That's
well, they are now, GW, and we all know how you love your beans. So
absolutely,
it's got to be devastating news for you.
I don't give a shit. Like honestly, like it makes me just want to vote for Trump. Like,
at least I know we'll have beans.
Yeah, like and that weird Mexican soda that they have. Come on, that stuff's the bomb.
Speaking of that's a great little segue. Speaking of sodas, the other day, so I hate to admit it, but occasionally I'll flip on like top 40 radio just to see what the kids are listening to nowadays. And dude, there's a top 40 song right now named Blueberry Faygo. And you guys know about Faygo?
Oh yeah, an ICP.
So Faygo was a soda company that almost went under. They were like the RC Cola of the Mideast, right? Of like Middle America. And they almost went under, but Insane Clown Posse has got some weird connection with Faygo and have promoted the hell out of it. And now Insane Clown Posse like single-handedly saved this brand from going under because all of their fans are purchasing it. I never dreamed in 100 years that I would ever flip on a radio station to hear a song about Blueberry Faygo, but it's happened.
And not by ICP.
No, that's the crazy part, is that it's like a R&B song. Or like modern hip hop that's like not rap, but it's like singy and like, I don't know, just imagine it's a very, very nicely manicured man singing it.
Or
yeah, it was
like Post Malone.
Yeah, but like a sexy Post Malone without the tattoos. That's who I imagine. Who knows what the guy actually looks like?
Hey, you mean Post Malone tattooing his entire face isn't sexy?
Well, I think so, but I don't know if the general populace is ready for that.
I just get a feeling that the guy looks like a total dirt merchant. Like just covered in shit and not necessarily his shit, like cat shit from like 5 cats ago, and just smelling like weed and alcohol.
You like me now, ICP?
We're from Detroit, baby.
I'm making millions of dollars on the soda you saved. Like, that guy's gonna be stoked. Speaking of cats, I thought I'd bring that up. It was a crazy story that I saw a news article the other day about. So we're having a lot of mail-in voting due to COVID and all that. And a lady had actually been sent a voter registration form for her cat. Showed up at her house. The catch is that this cat was, it had a human name. I think her cat was named Chad. And Chad died 12 years ago. So not only has she not had this cat for 12 years, but now the government's reminding her that her cat died and asking her how her cat would like to vote.
I mean, is a great point, Kyle, because cats are people too. And their opinions, need to be taken into consideration far past the point of being deceased.
I agree.
Right now, if my cat could vote, I know exactly who my cat would be voting for, and I need a ballot for him.
Okay. Well, the funniest part is
always agreed politically.
when this couple was interviewed about their cat getting they asked how they thought their cat would vote, and they said, oh, she was a demo cat. It's like, oh.
Now, was this cat like an heir to a fortune?
A very prominent Catterbait account.
I'm just leaving it all the chat.
Yeah, it was a minor crazy. There's been a lot of crazy stories going on lately. I don't know if you guys have seen that Bernie and Biden are teaming up. That's the thing that's happening. Because sometimes I guess you got to take the guy that lost horribly to you and put him in charge of making your plans.
Now listen, Biden, we're going to use the same losing strategy that we used before. All right? Some people say I might be beating a dead horse. I love the fact that Bernie's like script writing for Biden, and like Biden's gonna come out and like all of a sudden just like with his hair picked out and stuff, and you're gonna be like the 1% of the 1%. Biden sounds like an old Jewish man from Brooklyn. All of a sudden.
I'm surprised they're remaking Grumpy Old Men.
It's the grumpiest old men.
Yeah.
Hey, how good would that be? It's just Biden's walking down the halls of the White House. Bernie comes up to him and goes, "Morning, moron."
Oh, yeah.
Hey, hot.
I can't wait for the first time that Biden like legitimately gets flustered like Bernie does during.
Well, I mean, honestly, this whole thing has just been such a disaster. But what's crazy is Bernie had probably one of the largest campaigns ever mounted. I think he set a record for most individual contributions and donations out of any political campaign. And the DNC screwed him again, and then again like buried him on the plate of this. And now it's like the fourth quarter, now trying to bring back Bernie, but they've just lost so much enthusiasm because of not just and when Biden screwed himself from the word go, because he said he was going to have his VP be a woman, which there's nothing wrong with that. But then you had Bernie, who was the most popular vote, and he wasn't able to combine him for his VP seat early on. So it could have been Biden-Bernie 2020 for half a year. They could have been campaigning that way. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't just a woman; it was a woman of color. So that narrows down his choice to like.
Where is Condoleezza Rice?
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. There's.
I was like Colin Powell, but.
It's either her or the squad, right? Like those are the options.
Yeah.
Both
of them seem to be right leaning.
I thought that Biden had shot himself in the foot because he literally made the statement that his VP has to be ready to go day one. Like we're literally running on hey guys, my vice president is your candidate, and I'm just standing.
Well,
Dude, that's what you're running on?
he's
Reminds me of the Bush administration.
Yeah.
which one?
The too many of them, sir.
Yeah, exactly. All of them.
See, at least there's a president in recent memory that we can all gather around the fact that we hate. You know, like, don't get me wrong, you can generally say you hate Trump and be safe in most places, but it's still only like that majority. It's not like Bush, where Bush you could like anybody can say anything bad about the guy and everyone
Well, I
else,
think Bush at one point his approval rating was like 3%.
which is incredible.
Then he
had the
started a
lowest
war.
approval rating that I've ever seen. And it was funny because I was actually doing a show in South Carolina, and I came in and Bush's approval rating had gotten to 3%. And I was doing like a Bush impression and stuff, and I came on stage and I was like, hey, I'm like, anybody here who thinks this president's doing a good job, like kind of joking, and the whole place just starts cheering, and I was like, oh wow, I'm in that 3% right now. I am performing to the 3% of the country. It's like,
Found it.
I'm in this room. Yeah. Moving on.
I wanted to ask you guys, I keep seeing that a bunch of drive-in concerts are getting going. Do you see there ever being a future in drive-in comedy?
I don't know, man. Like, the whole idea of it sounds like it could be intriguing, but walking in cities, I get honked at and like I get freaked out. Like, I can't imagine people like just honking just because they think I'm funny.
I mean, like, I think like if it was like Dave Chappelle was performing, like I'd go to see drive-in comedy. But if it was like me performing, I would be like, save your $15, folks.
That's fair. My thought was that you'd lose the personality, the personableness of stand-up, and you need that type of connection with the performer, because I mean 90% of the time when you see stand-up locally, it's not going to see Chappelle, it's not going to see
and I think that something like that has to be structured like that. Like, you almost have to have a superstar quality to be able to take the stage for an hour or whatever and just rock it. I don't know if a format of like people going up and doing 10, 7, 5 to 7 to 7 to 10. I know, unless people are outrageously funny. I mean, but to me, what I've seen with comedy over the last couple of years has been more introverted and more introspective kind of comedy, and a little bit slower and a little bit more of like a slow burner than like actually going out and like hitting hard punch lines in a way that I think, like, if you're going to have that like kind of showmanship to it, you probably have to,
Well, I think
sorry to interrupt. We just got a comment in from Garth Dunkel saying, Chance the Rapper just endorsed Kanye. Can't get any weirder.
I vote for Kanye.
Apparently, Chance the Rapper ain't black anymore, I guess. oh no, that was Charlemagne. Sorry.
Well, but think about this. Kanye becomes president. All of a sudden, we have the Yeezy mask, right? I mean, we're all wearing masks, looking dope as shit. We're going to be looking fly. Match that, pair that with the Yeezys. This could be a beautiful thing.
Now, if we could just get a bunch of women with an ass like Kim Kardashian.
Oh, that's done. That's done.
Is that part of his platform? He's up there like, yo, man, I got an idea, man. Here's what we do.
Donald Trump's like, I own the World Beauty Pageant, okay? I own Miss America Beauty Pageant. How funny is it that Trump, too? I don't understand why people don't call back that stuff. Like, Biden, yes, there is 35 years worth of video footage of Biden sniffing every woman's hair that he could get close enough to smell. But he's never like come out and been like, I'm Joe Biden and I love sniffing young girls' hair. Right? But Trump came out and was like, look, sometimes I go into the changing room because I'm the director and I own the pageant. And I come in and I'm inspecting I'm inspecting. It's like, and you go into Miss Teen America and like look at these girls while they're naked, and he brags about this. Like, why? Like, I don't know. It's hypocritical to go
You
after,
gotta get that frat boy vote, yo.
you know.
It's
And
all about-
like, if Trump said, he's like, while I was in there, was I sniffing some hair? Maybe I was. Maybe I did. I don't know.
Some of these people didn't have hair where I wanted to sniff.
I may have sniffed some hair. It's locker room stuff. It's locker room stuff.
I mean, people kind of just always go on Trump like he's the only dirtbag president we ever had. I mean, we've had long lines of dirtbag presidents. I mean, JFK was
almost 47 of them.
Yeah, I think we've had enough.
Yeah.
And it looks like we're going to 48. I can't tell what the future is, but like either we get a douchebag for his second term or a douchebag for his first term. Like I don't really know how to. It's literally we're in a spot where we are living South Park episodes now. Like literally this election is the episode from like 10 years ago when the school was having a race and it was like giant douche versus a turd sandwich.
Yeah.
Which one do you like? It's like giant douches, we can too. Giant douches, me and you. Like, that's like what we're running on. And I feel like it's literally you've got the right being like, hey, we're the right and this is what we're doing. And then you've got the left being out there and their slogans have been like, hey, we're not the right. It's like they're literally just running on the fact that they aren't each other anymore. It's no longer about like, hey, I have good ideas and this is what I want to do. It's more just like, well, Trump's like, well, I'm not quite as old as Biden. Yeah. And Biden's just like, hey, I'm not the orange man. And like that's their, like they put out zero campaign stuff so far. It's been 6 months out and the policies are just getting right.
Yeah, it's the type of thing where like normally I'm a big proponent of third party access. And I feel that third parties can offer a lot to the dialogue. And whether you're on either aisle, there are third parties that could cater to you. But even this year, the third party candidates suck ass. Like neither the Green Party or the Libertarian Party are running decent candidates.
God, the Libertarian Party just broke my heart the other day. I was actually going to bring this up later on. That so the Libertarian Party candidate this year is Joe Johansson.
Jorgensen.
Sorry, Joe Jorgensen. There we go. And
we're not going to vote for her. Let's at least get her name right.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, I might have been into it until she posted a tweet the other day saying that all of us libertarians need to become more active and become anti-racist, which don't get me wrong, I am not for racism. I'm against it, but the term anti-racism is a term that means you actively go out and try to end racism. And all I could think was, Joe, it's not fucking libertarian, bro. like libertarians literally being like, I don't tell other people what to do. They don't tell me what to do. This party can be summed up in 4 words, which are, don't tread on me.
Yeah.
Right? And meanwhile, this woman is now calling for activism. And I'm just like, what the fuck happened to my party? Like one tweet and it all just, it went from libertarian to authoritarian.
I mean, her heart is in the right, because I saw that tweet also.
No, I agree that the sentiment is correct, but the call to action is not.
It's the don't tell me what to do, bitch.
Exactly, which is what the fucking party's about. That's literally what they do. Is like, hey, you do you, I'll do me. Yeah. As long as nobody kills each other, we'll be fine. That's literally the Libertarian Party.
Yeah, no, it was
It hurt a little. That's how I felt about it.
Yeah, no, I'm there. I get it.
I thought those were like the last
I
few
had
politicians we could
I
actually
had to
in.
laugh. I had to laugh. I saw a bumper sticker the other day, and it said, "Don't tread on me," and then underneath it said, "I don't understand basic epidemiology."
That's pretty good.
I had to laugh. That was pretty good.
No, that's pretty good. There's been some really great "Don't Tread on Me" meme flags that have come out lately. I don't know if you guys have seen any of those, but like this is like a really crudely drawn snake, and it says like "No step on snack."
Yep.
My favorite was God, I can't remember what it said, but it was the art was like a snake with a cane and a proper cap.
Oh.
And it's like, "Thou shalt tread over there, dear sir."
My favorite one is the Lego one that says "Don't tread on me."
Oh, with the Lego.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one too. And then there is the Antifa flag. I saw an Antifa flag lately that was the Black Lives Matter fist strangling a snake, and it said "We will tread." And I was like, "Oh god damn, bro!" Like,
Here's our flag. It's called "We're gonna about to do some treading."
I was like, "Man, that's a little authoritarian for me. I don't know how I feel about that, but oh well. Fly whatever flag you want, brother." It's interesting. I as a guy who finds himself as a "do not tread on others," if you don't, it's kind of like the golden rule of like treat your neighbors the way you wish you were treated. It's like I don't tread on other people the way I wish I don't get treaded on.
Right.
And the "We will tread" flag made me laugh a little. That was like, goddamn, that went the other way real fast. But no, the Lego one's probably my favorite. Or, I mean, Granger Smith makes a "Don't Tread on Me" flag that says "Yee Yee" across it. That one makes me pretty happy too. And to say any of those giant flags hanging off the back of a truck just makes me all warm inside. Other questions or things to come back to? Looks like COVID-19 is on the rise again, and the media seems to not have a goddamn clue about why it's happening or what people have been doing over the past month. Figured you guys might have input on that. To see if you had maybe a glimpse of why our cases would be skyrocketing.
This is the thing, is that I really do feel like the just in general, the lack of leadership all around, I would say more on a federal level, like, because the problem is in a country with like America with so many states, like everyone has to play ball. And you have like Disney opening in Florida as they're setting record daily numbers, and now they're opening Disney World. And I don't know if the idea is just people in Florida for Disney was the talk or wherever, but to really actually shut this thing down, which other countries have done very effectively, and they've all done it by just taking even just a few weeks of a more serious lockdown. And unfortunately, I'm not one for martial law, and nobody in this country wants to feel like we're being locked down. But the problem is like we're seeing in real time what's happening when people are not, wearing masks and keeping distance and going into businesses of high volume. And so, I mean, until we take this thing like more serious, and the craziest thing is we're just wasting everybody's time, because we've already wasted so much time this year in this like 1 foot, one step forward, one step back kind of, position. So I don't know. It's going to get interesting, but I think that at a certain point, we're going to have to, I don't know, do what we can to flatten this thing.
What I find ironic about the anti-mask sentiment is literally the same guy that is anti-mask right now. And Don't get me wrong. I've fallen the conservative libertarian line, and I get a hard time from my friends. But the same guy that's having an issue about wearing the mask is literally the same guy that was bitching about facial recognition software 2 years ago. and I don't understand like why these guys have this free pass. They're like, hey man, you get to wear a mask. It could literally be as big as you want. You could literally cover all, you could throw on glasses and cover your whole face and be in public right now, and it's socially acceptable. You could still buy alcohol, like you could still buy tobacco or lottery tickets. Like nobody's gonna even card you. Like I haven't been carded. I don't know about you guys.
Just tell them just tell them Obama set the cameras up.
I was gonna say, have either of you guys? That's a
Obama's trying to film you right now, so you better wear your mask.
side tangent. Have either of you guys been carded for anything since March?
No. And I want
I
to say,
assume you've worn a mask inside a store.
I
yeah.
bought a lighter the other day, and the woman made me stand there. She looked at my license for quite some time, and then told me to please remove my mask so she could see my face.
Oh no shit!
For a lighter and papers.
In Vermont?
Yep.
Okay.
I thought that was very peculiar. And then I'm like, I'm 32 years old. Like,
I've been able to buy this since I was 18, even though the law is now 21.
As soon as I turned 40, no one has carded me for shit. It's like, give me that youthful feeling once. Like just once. Like I got a baby face. Come on.
Yeah.
I could be 25.
I mean,
I
to
agree.
be fair, GW, you don't age. I feel like GW's looked the same for the last 25 years.
I was like, ever since GW grew out that beard,
15-year-old
literally,
GW.
he looks like he's been 40 ever since. my this is a funny random anecdote from my childhood. My dad told me that he was, and given the laws were a bit more lax back in our parents' day, but he said that he could walk into any store around here at the age of 16 and buy beer because he had a full beard. And I remember when I was 32 years old. It was last year, literally. I grew the full beard for the first time I ever grew a legit beard in my life. I was so proud. And I gave this was pre-COVID, so don't be scared, guys. I gave my dad a hug. And I was like, Dad, I finally grew a beard. I wanted you to see it before I trimmed it back a little and got rid of the mustache. And he looked at me and he put his hand on my shoulder and he's like, son, I'm so proud of you. I grew that same fucking beard when I was 14.
Clearly,
Well,
take after your mother.
okay, that's fair. I guess I have my mother's facial hair. Not bad though, because I mean, he was already balding when I was at that point when I had grown that beard. I'm like, oh, I'm doing okay. I've had a hell of a widow's peak, but it's going all right. I can hear my beautiful assistant in there laughing about my hair right now. You know, she's about to come out and offer inventory. I better get on to the next subject. A little diversion before we get to the end. This Tuesday evening at 8 o'clock on another show, both Collen and I will be doing a fun program called Jokey, which is a contest where comics basically do karaoke of other people's stand-up material. So that should be fun. We've both picked out some comics that we like for round one, and then apparently if we do well, there's a round 2 or 3, and those are random. And I'm just hoping I don't end up with any Amy Schumer bits, because that annoying white girl accent is going to get real like annoying on the back. Like I know the back of my throat's going to hurt from doing that impression.
Well, the thing is if you do Amy Schumer's bits, then you really don't know whose material you're doing, because it could have been the 25 comics she stole it from.
I forgot she is like the female Carlos Mencia.
Yeah. Yeah, she's probably the biggest joke thief I've ever seen. she was actually the most unbelievable joke steal I ever saw her do was she was on Ellen's show, and Ellen has a bit about from one of her comedy specials about eating popcorn, and Ellen was like, notice like how when you eat popcorn, like you start and you just eat like one piece at a time. She's like, and within a few pieces, you're just like shoveling it in your mouth, you know. And so then Amy Schumer came on to Ellen, and she was like, "Hey, Ellen, how you doing?" She's like, "Do you like popcorn, Ellen?" Ellen's like, "I do." And she's like, "You ever notice how like I love popcorn?" She's like, "You ever notice how you have like one piece, you have like a second, and then you just start shoveling it?" And Ellen's like looking at her like, "Bitch, did you just steal my bit?"
Oh yeah, that's
on my own show.
My beautiful assistant literally walked by and looked at me and was like, "It's baby weight." Fuck you, Amy Schumer. I liked her when I thought she was funny for that first half of special I saw. That
I like the Mexican.
that was my takeaway from that. God, my beautiful assistant's ranting just in the background. It's somehow like I wish he was here. Like we could do like an all wives girlfriend special episode. And I think my beautiful assistant brought it up, so she might be into this. We might be able to pull this thing together. And where one, it's beautiful though because it would make that our guest is 3 people. So we can get Collen's lady, my wife, and GW's wife all together. We could have them be one guest, and then they only have to come up with a third of the material each. And that way they don't feel too much pressure, because that's the issue with my beautiful assistant is that she feels, you know, the pressure to perform in front of an audience.
No, just tell her that really what we're just looking for is to make to try to publicly humiliate you in any way that you can.
I know her husband looks bad.
I don't know.
You know, all the dirt, the stuff that I can't get on him, I need that stuff, Nikki. That's what I need to hear.
This entire show is literally Collen just working on the next roast. Let's take the drunk and underwhelming, and the next roast at GW Foley. He's just here for research. Like,
yeah, I just got one note. I'm just taking notes. Oh, that's interesting. Go on, please tell me more about that.
The only thing I can think of is the line. Now, the person who really thinks he's underwhelming, Nikki.
The woman he underwhelms every day.
So true.
Oh, it's been 30 seconds already. Wow.
Right.
Boy, time flies when you're having fun, I'll tell you.
Yeah, she can kill it on time, that's for sure. Hey, oh yeah, you should see him make his soberness disappear. It's
If you think the card tricks are bad, you should see that one.
he can make a 4-pack vanish in a heartbeat. I can just imagine that. I had some notes. Don't mind me. I'm just referencing my notes. I earlier, Collen, you talked about sports and how people get all angry and emotional over sports, and I've wanted to say that I've never felt that way ever. Like I've never seen a sports play and been upset about it. And even like when I watch sports like combat sports like MMA, I actually watched my first UFC fight on TV not first in like over a year and a half that I watched like 2 grown men punch at each other until somebody said there was a winner. And like I just don't like I don't have that sense of like that passion that drives. I see guys at my work.
You're a magician, not a gambler.
That's true. I actually had to look up betting odds the other night because I had no idea what 45 to -1 meant. I still have a very rough idea what that means, but no, I felt that like I've always had that feeling about like, and this might be very politically incorrect to say in this current climate, but I've always felt like America is my sports team. you know, like
Your
my
sports team is doing real bad.
that like the beautiful assistant's just on the show at this point. She doesn't give a shit. Um, but that like America was my sports team, and that like I was rooting for, you know, like America was like the one I would root for, and it's like, oh, we made a fucking great play, like, yeah, or like, oh, we fucked up, you know, and got tackled or whatever, like, bummer. But like I've always felt that way about us as a nation, you know, which is funny because like one of my favorite comics is Doug Stanhope, and his view on the subject is like exactly the opposite. He loves sports and hates nationalism. So it's one of those views I figured I'd ask you guys and see what you think. And I am not by any means saying that America is the best team, period, whatsoever. I was saying that's how I've always looked at it. Is like
Yeah, I mean,
that's
I
my
think,
sports team, bro. Like,
yeah.
rooting for us.
Well, you know, I think that it's tough because it's extremely complex emotions and to be American. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where we all search, constantly searching, what does it mean to be American? What is being American? What is the American experience? It's
Yep.
like, you know, kind of like, you know, the great beat poets, the great musicians, you know, this kind of search for America. You know what I mean? There was the guy who was the tour manager for the Grateful Dead. He goes, he was from England, and he goes, in England, people don't get in a bus and go drive around trying to look for England or discover England. He's like, that's like an American thing, you know? But, and I think that it's like a tough thing that like, you know, like I had both my grandfathers fought in World War II, and they both had an extreme amount of pride for the country because they fought and risked their life for it. But I think that we have to be wary of like, just because you can't just rest on the laurels. I feel like America can't just rest on its laurels. Like we have to continue to get better. We have to continue to improve. And to say that there's room for improvement or that we're not perfect is not viewed as like unpatriotic. It's like we're not perfect. We have a lot of complex issues that we have to figure out and address. And sometimes I worry, like if you say like there's issues with democracy or there's issues with capitalism, people look at you and they say, well, you've got a problem with America. And it's like, or the military, if you question military spending, police, like we talked about last week, if you question police spending, people are like, you're not a patriot. And it's like, not everything that you're trying to seek to change doesn't mean that you're against the country or that you're not patriotic of it. There's always room for improvement. And we have a democracy that's designed so that we have the ability to improve and, you know, change laws, enact new laws, you know, effectively, basically, you know, change older laws that need to be updated, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, I feel like right now, what saddens me is that I feel like America, up until recently, has always been a country that the rest of the world looks at and looks towards us, towards the future, and look towards us for answers. And I feel like right now we look like a country that can't get our shit together. And we look like, you know, we don't look like a superpower. We look like not that. We look like, you know, I can't even describe it. So I'm weary of that, and that makes me sad. But the thing is that I think that also right now we're kind of being pushed to feel that way, and we're spending so much time and energy focusing on our failures and our flaws that we're not actually looking at the things that like people are doing right and people have improved, making improvements and things like that. We're incredibly resilient, intelligent, creative, and imaginative country, more so than almost anywhere in the world. And we need to focus on that creativity and that imagination, not, you know, our flaws and just, you know, fighting each other. And, you know.
I agree wholeheartedly. I think the best part of America is the fact that we easily have the power to change that stuff and to constantly improve and become better. And like, no, the fact that every American can admit, like, no, we're not perfect. And not every, like 99% of rational Americans can admit that we're not a perfect country and that we have work to do. But that's what the idea of America is about creating a place and being like, you know what, we're gonna amend the fuck out of this thing, right? Is that Like, we're gonna write this thing, and who knows, it might be completely different in 300 years, but we are gonna move forward. We're gonna go with this. We're gonna say that all people, like, when it started, we said that everybody was equal, and it wasn't true. Like, women couldn't vote, and we still owned slaves. And slowly,
Right.
we keep moving that line forward and moving that line forward. And no, I feel like we've gotten to a place recently where people have almost forgot that that's what we're about. Like, America isn't about like, hey, this is what America is right now. It's about like, hey, this place can be better. And we're constantly trying to improve it and make it better and make the system work better and make a system that is fair. And because, like, I mean, there's no place, as far as I'm concerned, there's not many places on the planet that are fair. I mean, I can't think of many. There might be like one or two in Europe that have figured it out.
And that's where, I think that really and what's funny too is when, if everyone actually stopped and stood back and you stood around a room and you took politics out of it and you said, what do you want for your family? What is it that you want? And you looked at the next person and said, what do you want for your family? What is it that you want? And what do you want for your family? What is it that you want? Most people in that room would all want the same damn thing. You know what I mean? And people would all want for their family, their children to live a little bit better life than they lived, for the American dream, for their children to have opportunities that they didn't have, and we all aspire. We all want to, most of us came here as immigrants and we came here seeking a better life, and to have our future generations be able to live easier than we've lived, But I think that
liberty and the pursuit of happiness, my brother.
Yeah. But it's funny too, though, is at the same time with me, it's like you have to call a spade at a certain time. And it's like you're living in America and you're having an American experience. We all are. If we're living in this country. And it's like one of those things where if you look back, and most of the things that are in our culture are sad and depressing if you look long enough, right? You can take something like Christmas and you can take something that's supposed to be the most magical time of the year and you'd be like, it was propagated by Coca-Cola and just an attempt to, further capitalism, and blah, 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 blah. And I think it's good to know those things, know where the holidays come from, know what these traditions, where they come from, what they are. And then if you can, try to enjoy them. You know what I mean? Like you shouldn't, with me, I feel like I harbor feelings of guilt around Christmas of being like, am I just playing into this mass consumer culture? And just buying things because this is what I'm supposed to do. But at the same time, it's fun to buy and receive presents, and you shouldn't feel guilty about that. But do it in a sustainable way if you can, or and be a conscious consumer. Spend your money locally if you can. Do what you can to help your local community, and things like that. So, it's a tough thing because if you look at a lot of things, you can be like, so much of American history is dark, but we're all trying to do better.
I just wanted to touch on what Hickory said about the women voting thing. Maybe we could just roll that back for a second. Things have been downhill since we gave them the right to vote in the first place. I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
This could be a wonderful campaign for Kanye.
The Kim, she ain't got a
do is women ain't voting anymore.
Oh man, poor Kanye. You might have just tanked his chances, bro. You might have single-handedly just corrupted the birthday party. You heard that's what he's running under, right? The birthday party? Because if he wins, it's gonna be like my motherfucking birthday. Is the meme I've been seeing, anyways. That's pretty awesome.
I'm just gonna put on my ballot. I'm voting in. My presidential vote is going to Mountain Dew.
Who are you writing in?
Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew.
From Idiocracy.
Yeah.
Terry Crews with the machine guns. Mountain Dew.
Oh, that movie was brilliant. It's I wish Mike Judge wasn't so accurate. That's my only complaint, is that he was way too accurate in the making of that film.
But
kind of bummed
he's
me
bringing,
out,
he's bringing Beavis and Butthead back too, I believe.
Yeah.
which is going to be really interesting.
Yeah.
Oh no, you can't say a lesbian seagull. That's offensive.
Like, boy, things have changed.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's just going to be whacking it in the tool shed jokes. It's going to be an entire show. I hope they bring back Guar for it, to be honest. That was like my favorite part of Beavis and Butthead, was they were always promoting Guar. And I was too young to understand what Guar was. And not like now. I love that shit. It's like my favorite performance band. Anyways, getting towards the end, we've run over a little bit. Any closing comments, GW? You got anything you gotta get off your chest?
Oh, I joined Parlor.
Nice.
Yes.
I've actually been toying with that myself.
I've joined Parlor. You can find me at Foley Kills, like all my social media.
Nice.
Um,
Do you like it?
it's all right so
Yeah.
far. I've only followed 2 people, so I'm taking my time easing into it.
That's
Okay.
just called stalking, GW.
So yeah, if there's any Parlor fans, find me on Parlor or
Nice.
Twitter.
I'll probably find it here in the next couple of weeks. I've been toying with that myself.
Yeah, it'd be great to have someone to talk to on there.
Any closing comments, Colin? Anything you gotta?
No, another fun week. Tune in tomorrow for Jokey Okie. Look forward to doing that with you. Gonna do some comedy impressions, so karaoke style.
Yeah, actually, that's ironic because Harmon just sent us a message about Jokioki saying, "Hey, here's what we're doing with some stuff," and yeah, he sent us a logo for the Jokioki logo, which I don't green screen, so I won't be using that, but we'll be on there tomorrow night, and I will be impersonating either Dice Clay or Larry the Cable Guy, so that'll be great, and I'll be in my magic attire because that's what I do now. Yeah, thank you guys for coming out. Another great week. Just Us Host was a great guest. I gotta say we should have him back as well. It's kind of like just having guys night, you know, like we don't have to worry about anybody else. Like we're not like pitching in for somebody else's dinner. You know, it's just kind of nice to know that it's just the 3 of us just hanging out.
Exactly.
I had better internet. I'd take this out on the lake with you boys.
We'll have to do that at some show. Obviously, the 3 of us in kayaks.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I got 2. You got 3.
Oh, what do you have to say, Hickory? Fuck, I got a bass on the line, guys. You just fucking hold on. We got this guy.
Is that a bear or a wombat?
Welcome back to Hickory, the Drunken Under Quarantine Adventure Edition.
We could be the next Jumanji.
Yeah.
You could do Robin Williams impressions, and I'll pretend I'm Miss Jack.
Oh my God, am I in Jumanji? They're coming for us, the animals. Hickory! What's that?
We could dress GW like Kevin Hart, and you just walk around on his knees. And anyways, that's about all we have for this here episode. We've already run almost 10 minutes over. I appreciate everybody for coming out, liking, following, enjoying the show. Please write us at hickorytdau@gmail.com if you come up with anything that you'd like to have brought up on the show. Always looking for topics. If you guys have a friend that wants to be on or you want to be on, please direct message us at either the Woolen Mill Facebook page or the Hickory the Drunken Underwhelming Facebook page. And till next week, Kevin McTaggart next week?
Yeah.
Nice. Mr. McTaggart is back, the host of the McTaggart Attack podcast, and we will attack episode 13. which is exciting because it's either a baker's dozen or a really bad time, depending on how you look at 13s. So, Collen, thank you again, sir. Please follow Collen at Woolen Mill Comedy Club and at Collen Doyle. Please find GW Foley on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and now Parlor. It's not just for people who are alt-right. You might find a comic like GW or myself on there too. And please give me a like at Hickory the Drunken Underwhelming Facebook page. Thank you guys all for following the Hickory the Drunken Under Quarantine show presented by Woolen Mill Comedy Club. And we'll see you next week. We'll be back at 6 o'clock on Monday with Mr. Kevin Taggart. I hope you all remember to stay safe or stay drunk, stay underwhelming, and stay safe, because that sounds like a far better plan as far as I am concerned. Oh, shit.
You pick yourself up?